Hi, Carl. Welcome to Nasdaq for the interview with us today.
Thank you.
So firstly, could you please give us some background of your company?
Absolutely. So if you look at us over the last, say, 10 years, we started off as a fairly small company. We had roughly 100 employees in one factory. Now, if you flash forward to today, we've grown very rapidly over the last 10 years. We're now over 80 million in revenue. We have 3 large factories, and we have over 3,000 employees. Our factories are based in Amman, Jordan, so that's a very important point for us. It provides us many advantages, and we have experienced very substantial growth, mainly because of our high quality and low cost. That's really what's been driving things. And finally, we went public in May of this past year, under the symbol JRSH, and we're trading now at over $7 per share.
So in your industry, so what do you think of the main advantage of your company?
Sure. So as I said, it's really a combination being low cost and high quality. So if we talk about low cost, first of all, being in Jordan, because Jordan is such a strategically important country for the Western and Asian superpowers, because of the turmoil that's always going on in the Middle East. Jordan is really considered an oasis of peace. Because of that, Jordan has a zero tariff arrangement with major geographies around the world, namely zero tariff into the United States and zero tariff into Europe. So we can manufacture goods, ship them into those countries, and have no tariff, which is a huge advantage for us. Combining on the cost side the fact that Jordan, and also we bring in workers from other countries that are very low cost but also very skilled. So you combine the fact that we have low cost on the tariff side, low cost on the labor, that's very advantageous. Now on the quality side, our quality is superb because we don't have to worry about many countries. Because they want to avoid tariffs, they have to manipulate their products. We don't have to worry about any of that. So we can just focus on quality. You know, so again, our quality is extremely high and our costs are very attractive. So you really can't beat that combination.
So what is your main clients? Could you expand on that?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So we only work with the top global brands, and what we focus on in the apparel industry is action outdoor sportswear. So that's really our sector, and so we work with obviously companies in that sector. So the main brands would be the North Face, which is a subsidiary.
Very famous.
Yeah, very famous. It's a subsidiary of VF Corp, which is a $33 billion New York Stock Exchange listed company. We manufacture for Columbia, which is a $7 billion New York Stock Exchange company. We manufacture for Reebok. Everyone knows Reebok, very famous company. We manufacture for New Balance, which is a well-known European country. We manufacture for some of the big box stores like Walmart and Costco. So as you can see, all of our clients are very large, very well-respected, very renowned companies.
So could you please give us a little bit background about yourself and the whole management team? So who are they?
Absolutely. So a little bit about myself. I've been involved with Jerash for the last 3 years. My background is as an investment banker. So I started working with Jerash. Really the goal was, when I was introduced to the management team, they wanted to be on Nasdaq. That was their whole goal, but they didn't know how to do it. So I came in and restructured the company. We did many things. Because I had been so closely involved with the company, they asked me to stay on, and that's when I became head of U.S. operations. So that's my background. Others of interest, Samuel Choi, who is the chairman of the company and the largest shareholder. He has had a background in the apparel space, predominantly first as a lender and a banker to apparel companies, and then he became an entrepreneur owning companies in the apparel space. Kitty Yang, who is on our board of directors and is also head of operations, she handles the Jordanian, she lives in Jordan, and she speaks Arabic. She handles the manufacturing component of our business with the 20-person team that we have there.
Is there some short-term goal or long-term goal in your company? And as an investor, why should I invest in your company?
Sure. So in terms of our goals, we want to execute operationally and continue to grow. I think you might see our growth accelerate now that we're public, and we have many resources that we can draw from. So short term, that's a very important goal. In terms of and the other goal that I would say is short term, but it also leads into the long term, is acquisitions. We've said in all of our public filings that we want to be aggressive in making acquisitions. We feel we're a very good platform for making acquisitions in the apparel industry. We're currently in discussions with 5 or 6 companies that are all fairly good-sized companies that would be great additions, and so we're working very hard because we really believe that an acquisition can be very anti-dilutive and very beneficial for our shareholders. So that leads to what is our long-term vision. Our long-term vision is over the next 3 to 5 years, we want to approach somewhere in the $500 million range. That's our goal in terms of revenue. It's obviously going to be done through a combination of continuing to grow our core operations rapidly, as well as through acquisitions. But we think it's eminently doable. And I'll leave you with this thought as to why we think we're such an attractive company as a public company to acquire. We cover 3 very critical buckets that Wall Street looks at, 3 very critical areas, probably the most important. Number 1, we're a growth stock. You can see from our history and what we have in our pipeline going forward between the new factory and acquisitions we plan to make, we're going to be growing very rapidly. Secondly, we're a value stock. When you look at what we trade at, we trade on a pro forma basis of roughly $1 per share, which is about a 7 PE. Comps trade much higher than that, our comparable companies. So we have a lot of room to improve our valuation to get to where reasonably close to where some of our comps are trading at. Some are trading at much higher than that.
The third one?
And the third one is that we pay a dividend. We're a dividend stock. Many investors will not invest in a stock unless they pay a dividend. We do, and we pay a fairly nice dividend, and that covers that area as well. So it's very rare to find a growth stock, a value stock, and a dividend-paying stock all in one.
Absolutely, very exciting. So again, thanks so much for the interview. Thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure.